Hey, top of the morning to you. Michael here, or the grandkids call me Roo. What if you had a bright spot, or what if you were the bright spot? And so thank you for being a bright spot here. You know, I started seeing a couple people pop up, and then suddenly my computer goes, whoop, it says, your live stream has stopped due to an audio problem. And I'm going like, what's going on? So anyway, it did that twice. So I restarted everything, came back to life. So here we are. Hey, technical issues are always out there. In fact, my internet has been really weird the last few days. I'm sure it has to do with nothing. Okay, it's just who knows how it works anyway. Can you imagine all the stuff that's racing through the airwaves and trying to compete? You got telephone, television, tell-a-friend, you got telemarketers. Oh my gosh, they call me with other names all the time. Do you get those, and you get a name from someone on your phone, it pops up and it goes, hey, and your phone pops up and it says, Bill Lingram in Raleigh, North Carolina. And you go, shoot, I don't know Bill, but I was just talking to him. Hello. And he goes, hey, this is Travis. We want to talk to you about solar energy. I'm like, come on, Travis. You're the same guy that tried to tell me my car warranty was out. Hold on, I got to plug this in over here. And so I think some of you know what I do now, right? Especially with the sinus issue and all the pollen. Man, the pollen is, everything's green here already in Charlotte, even though it's been chilly. So I do what I do the show. I get a call and it says either potential spam or it's a name that I've never heard of before or somewhere else. So if you were to call me and you get one of my goofy calls and I don't have your number locked in, which a lot of you I don't, but the point is I'll say, hey, thank you for calling WROO. You're our third caller. Hold on, here's the question for the day. And they're gone after that. And then they go, we got to take that off. That's a radio station. Say, you're live. Would you like to talk to our network? And they just go crazy. So anyway, I used to do all sorts of crazy things like the Queen's not in and stuff like that. But hey, tell them you have 96 Bonneville with 300,000 miles. Stephen Dockery, that is off the chain, buddy. I like it. Are you calling about the 96 Bonneville? I love it. That's brilliant. Hey, top of the morning to you again, Catherine Brousseau. Thanks for being on the show. And Stephen, you're right off the gate there. Thank you for being in this morning. Jason Nicholas, love it from New Jersey. Coffee and creativity in hand. Let's go, man. Linda Schleitney, good morning. Deborah Spangler, thanks for being on the show. Laura Belushi, thank you for being here. Good morning from Western New York. Man, I love it that you guys have covered the coast. You're always in New York and way out there, and you're always in California, and it's really fun. I think I'm trying to think if I've ever had anyone on the show from Wyoming. So we got to reach out there, and they're out running fences and mending, keeping the cattle in. We got to get them doing some art. Jane Enthalzer, thanks for being on the show. Chris Whitaker, I love the motorcycle gnomes. I saw it. Pretty creative. Pat Brooks, blessings to you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Kathy Morrow, yes, love it from Turner, Oregon. There we go. Kim Sheets, woohoo, she says, morning. Barbara Mayer, Jennifer Thistle from out in there. There's Arizona's on here. Annette Hensland says, hey, and hey, all spelled different ways from Bird Island, way up there. Renee Keese, good artist. Sharon Caldwell, been a while since I could join. Sharon, great to have you back on the show today. Glad you're here. Beverly Schmidt, all the way from the flowing metropolis of under the Riverwalk Bridge. I love that bridge you have in Greenville, South Carolina. I love to walk across that thing. Greenville's got some great little restaurants, theaters, good little art district too. Virginia Mann, welcome to the show. June Jones, welcome to have you. Rhonda DeHart from Faith, North Carolina. Nancy Catlett, Nancy's on the show. That means Steve is probably not far behind. Sue Kane, blessings to you from South Australia. Love to have international folks on the show, or we're international to you, I guess, right? But the show's taking place here, so I guess you're the international guest. Gretchen Hay, glad for being on the show, and that's Hay, Is that fescue or is that alfalfa? Hay. Okay, just wondering. Burt Crone from Greenville. Got Greenville showing up in force today. Donna Sell Barton. I'm just going to call Donna the Rube Goldberg painter of all times. Love her stuff. You ought to be syndicated somewhere. Dinah Smith. Yes, Jason, attempting a pun-free day today. Oh, as per my high school students' request. Okay, so I hope they're watching. And so we're going to keep you in the creative mode. By the way, Jason, I'll help you do that. I'm going to encourage you right now. The painting that you posted, and I just saw it for a blip this morning as I was setting up the show. It was a repaint of an earlier 2000 painting. The one I really love. It's the castle. It's the sun. The little that style. Okay, that style rocks. You get more comments on that style than most things you do. The Brooklyn Bridge, I'm really liking. I like that one, but I like that style. It's thought-provoking. It's very, I don't know what it is. It's old movie poster stuff. I like it. Anyway, that's good. There's Steve Catlett. Top of the morning to you, my friend. Denise Albright, thank you for being on. Denise probably somewhere has a stack, if she hadn't thrown them away, of dogs that just didn't make the cut. Because to paint dogs as well as she paints dogs, you've got to paint a lot of dogs, okay? And I mean that literally, figuratively. It's like roosters. I used to have them piled up like this, and I'm going like, those will never see the light of day. Bunny trail. But I kept them for a while to see how I had improved. If you don't know how, and we're going to pursue this in our classes this year, when I do my classes in Patreon, those of you who are part of this class, we're going to do some studies. We're going to say, take a big piece of paper and today fill every little space with that in shadings and different colors of a bird, beaks or feet or something. You got to do the homework. Okay, you just can't go out, if you architects, you just can't go out and draw the building if you don't know how to set the bolt heads and the I-beams that hold the building up. Somebody's going to have to engineer those things. And so you've got to put the structure together. So I bumped into a lady yesterday that wants to come by and paint some. And she said, I sculpt, I do this, but I've never drawn. I go, look, you already see it in your head. It's just a matter of putting it on paper. You can do that, but you got to do it over and over and over and over. And so that's kind of the stuff that we're going to do a little bit. Rue, have a guest, or is he just talking to himself again today? I just talk to myself every day. Am I online? I don't know. I may not be. Good morning, roommates. Happy to see you all soon. Yeah, the show went off the other day. That's probably off 20 minutes before I knew it. My head was down. I was working. I didn't know who I was talking to. Dolores Boland, thanks for being on the show. And Karen Piker, yes, and Karen Pulver. All the Karens have lined up. Elaine Barnett, Fern Skelly, Debbie Bennett, Sandy Connor, thank you guys for joining. Teresa Emmerich, thank you for being on the show. Miss Carla, you're here. All right, here we go. Jacqueline Goodrich and Westra. Let's jump ahead. Golly, you're all piling in and making comments so fast that I can't even keep up with them or read them. So here we go. Every time I try a new dog breed, the process starts all over again. There's my answer. Denise, you're right. It's a study. You look at it. Somebody brings you a schnauzer. You got to say, okay, I got to paint a schnauzer. I think I have one hanging on my wall. Not one of yours, but a lady down in Charlotte who works at a very wonderful jewelry store. And we go by there to say hi to them. But they have jewelry of an artist designer that we really like. Her name is Temple St. Clair. And we go by and see her work just to see what she's creating. Sometimes you just can't touch it. It's so expensive. Well, most times, all the times for me. But anyway, it's, I think Carol has a piece or two, a moonstone piece. It's a cross, but she has a shop on that famous bridge in Italy. Whatever the one that crosses over. That's COVID brain. All right, so here we go. Let's do something fun here. Top of the morning to you. There's the drawing. Boom, right there. See, you can't even see my desk, can you? Let's go right here and see it. Nope, there it is. Boom. All right, that's it. Top of the morning to you. I love this simple little drawing. It's just fountain pens and a light brush and a dirty piece of mixed media paper. Mixed media paper. Let's do a painting on mixed media paper. Why? Just because. And then we'll do a bright spot rooster. Here's a piece of mixed media. It's actually dirty too. I think every piece of paper I have has probably been splattered or splashed or something. When I say mixed media, I'm talking about just that. Buy it at a big box store. It's made by Strathmore. Strathmore. It's got a TH in the middle. So I assume that Norman Thayer from on Golden Pond would say it that way. So it's Strathmore. Mixed media. It's vellum surface. What does that mean? It means it's got a little bit of an eggshell grip, but it's kind of slick too. It's not as slick as hot press paper. There's just a little, not really a tooth, but it's going to slow down because it has a vellum. It's softer to the touch. Not velour. No. It's not a jacket you're going to wear to a dance. So a little simple one. This is the one that we used on the first class that we did. This and Kilimanjaro paper. It's the one that has the, yeah. See what my brain does? Everybody, I'm looking at it and I see it. And I'm going like, yeah. Ireland. That's crazy, isn't it? That is really something when that happens to your brain. And it's happened since COVID. Thistle. See there, Stephen Dockery. Thanks for being on the show. It's a thistle. Oh my gosh. There it is 1,000,000 times. I've even drawn one before. I've drawn something for Carol. And we have glasses from Ireland that have thistles on them. Boom. Golly. All right, so here we go. I'm going to grab a bamboo brush here. I had them packed up in here because I was doing some work at the desk and I didn't want to destroy them. I'm going to grab a couple bamboo brushes here. I just keep them flat. I don't keep them in a jar because I don't like the pressure or just gravity to keep pulling down on the hair. And so these are bamboo brushes. These are all Yasutoma brushes. I also have a couple American Journey brushes here. Remember, I don't paint with expensive brushes that are sable, and I don't think I need it for my style. You might need some fine line brushes if you're doing something really creative or something that's really got a little bit of a different twist to it. I have all of these. These are Yasutoma brushes. These are American Journey brushes. This is a Dynasty brush from the M Brush Company. And it is really a funky looking brush. Look at this. It's called the Faux Fox, F-A-U-X, Faux Squirrel, not Fox. Faux Squirrel brush, and it's got a liner in it. It has a little bulb of hair here that holds the paint, but then it comes out to a very fine point. Some of you who do fine painting should see that. I've used it once on the show. I'll use it again, and we'll go from there. All right, little music, and let me grab something here and just paint something real fast for you this morning. Dana Smith says, I've been actually experimenting using my son's school papers on the back. Wow, that's interesting. You have to be, you got to be tricky and quick and loose and careful with the water when you're painting on especially school papers. But that's a great way. I think the time will come when you paint on just about anything you can find. I think Rembrandt painted some of his Western scenes on some really rotten pieces of paper because that's all he could get his hands on. And he did amazing work on it. I think you have the gift today of having professional papers, but just slide in. Listen, I paint a lot. I sold a painting this week on a piece of scrap paper. In fact, a piece just like this right here. There, just like this. This is the blotter paper that's on my desk, and you can see how it wrinkles, but sometimes those wrinkles right there, water wrinkles, they add a little something to the watercolor painting. And I'll show you what I mean by that in just a minute, okay? I've got a tray laid out here today. These colors in here, my American Journey colors, are the same colors as that in there. I just lay them in this tray sometimes because it makes it a whole lot easier for me instead of jamming the brush down into the paper like this. This is stuff we'll talk about all the time in our classes, but I'll do it sometimes on Saturday mornings. We just talk. I'll lay my brush in sideways and just kind of roll it in like this, and I can load up the heel of the brush, the middle of the brush, and then the tip of the brush with a little more open space. So I need some more real estate sometimes. I still want the colors to mix on the painting. I'm always probably going to go there, but every now and then I'll grab a couple colors out of here that'll blend together. In fact, why don't I just use this and just show you what I'm talking about? Boom, there. There it is right there. There's the tray. There's the little piece of paper. And let's see. I could probably go in. Nah, we'll let it alone. Here we go. Let's grab this brush right here. It looks huge. It's a JB100. This is a Yasutoma brush that unfortunately I'm using this brush today. I wouldn't use this brush in the class because it's not made anymore by the family. They didn't make it. 6 of the members of that family didn't make it through COVID. in Japan. And so these brushes are very limited today. I've had this one for a year and a half. But it's called a JB100. There may be still some out there in the market somewhere, but not where Yasutoma can't get it right now. They're trying to resupply this brush. All right, so I'm going to grab a little bit of paint out of here. People and more people are getting on the Facebook scammers timeout. It's quite frustrating to have a conversation with everyone. Yeah, I know. Having trouble accessing file. I'm looking. John Robert Small's on the show today. Hey, John Robert Small, welcome, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Hope your flowers are planted in the ground and you got great plans. Hope you're doing well. Laurie Stanley Handelmeyer Henderson, thanks for being on the show. All right, let me do this paint here. Let me just start a little music and get something going here. We got to paint. We don't have to, want to. Let's just try this piece of music. That sounds good. Hear it a little bit in the background there. All right. Hey, I'm just going to take this brush and I'm going to roll it in a little bit of this green. See this? Just kind of rolling around. I probably could have yelled wake up to my colors and just wet them a little bit more, made this a little easier. There we go. Just get a little green here. Lay my brush in this. Lay the heel of it in some of this dark green right there. Lay a little bit of the middle green in this little, I think this is maybe just a touch of blue in there. And then right here, I'm just going to touch the tip of it and a little bit of yellow right there and see if it picks some of that up. Not a big deal if it didn't. So I loaded this brush with several different colors. I'm just going to start here. I'll just do it like this. It'll just start here. This is what I like about bamboo brushes or this brush, bamboo brush, and the way it's made. Okay, so remember they're made for calligraphy. So I'll just touch it here and I'll start. And as I go down, I'll press the brush down and make it come down a little farther like so. Look at that. You see that? That was just one brush stroke. And I'm going to do that again. I'll load a little here, a little here. I could have probably done two with that. And maybe a little yellow on the tip. Start here and come down. And then I just press the brush down and let it widen out like that right there. Look at that. See that? Ha! Look at that. Did he just make two big old leaves? And I'm going to pick up a little more yellow and a little light green here. And then I'm going to just come right in here and I'm going to come down and do a similar thing, but just a smaller little touch like that. Okay. And then let's grab a little bit of blue here and start here and just come down. See if we can grab a little more blue in this brush. I didn't wake that blue up too much. All right, so we'll start here, come down. That's way too much. Let me erase that while it's still wet. Boop, there we go. All right, come down. I could have used a smaller brush, but I haven't. Come down, come down, come down, and then just a little like that right there. So you see a dragonfly coming in with just brush. I haven't painted anything. I haven't sketched anything. I've just used my brush to pull that dragonfly into a little bit of a shape. I'm going to come in with a smaller brush, and I'm going to widen this part out right here where his eyes are going to go. Look at that right there. And then I might just take some dark, maybe a little purple, a little blue, and go for a little bit of brown over here and make myself a little color that looks like some dragonfly leg color and come in like just these little legs come down like this. And there they are. I'm going to come in with a little bit of yellow right here. Maybe if I can get the yellow out of that green. I kind of messed up there putting that green in the middle of the place. Get a little bit of orange in here and come in right here and just drop a little bit of orange on this body right there. Like so. I don't think you can see that, so I'm going to come in on it just a little bit right here. Let me try to get that just a little focused. Hold on. There we go. All right, so you see what's happening right there? That's kind of fun looking, isn't it? Don't you love that? That's kind of cool. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Come in right here. I need a little bit of, let's just put a little touch of red in there too. That would be cool. Let's see if I can drop some of this red in there. It didn't come in. Let's put a little piece of red up there, maybe a little piece right in there, bridging that, and then maybe a little touch just to the body, just touching it some in there like that. While this is still wet, I'm going to take my Pentel pen and just come in and just do some spots on the wing like this. Maybe I should have started it a few minutes ago when it was a little wetter. It's drying pretty fast on this paper, but I'm just putting a few little black little dots on this wing, and then maybe some just fine little lines out there. This is all the sketching I've done so far. I'm going to pull a little bit of wing in there, come around. All right, anyway, the point is, I just made this little dragonfly with just the brush strokes. And so that's the kind of stuff that we will certainly do in the classes, but we'll also, from time to time, just show you some of the stuff that I've discovered. That's his own mixed media paper that has the thistle on the top. See, once it fires, so I've just started carrying a thesaurus around in my pocket so I can go look this picture up and tell me what that is. That's kind of fun, huh? So there's a little dragonfly. He could be going up, he could be going down. I think he's probably going down. And if I wanted to get a smaller brush and I want to go in the background, look at this, I could come in here, roll some of this in, and I could do another little one right here to start like this and go up, and he could go that way. And then maybe he's got a wing that goes up like that. And then let's put some body in there like so. You see, sometimes we spend way too much time figuring out where the dragonflies need to go. Look at that, done. If I'm painting for children, if I'm painting for adults, if I'm painting at an art show, and they say, show me, I don't get why you like this brush. And I'll go, this brush can do it all. It can bring in the fine line here. It can bring in, and so I'm not selling these brushes. I'm just telling you that I fell in love with these brushes long before I knew about Yasutoma. I didn't even care what the name said. It didn't even matter to me. And then I kind of looked at it one day and I go, that's a cool word. Wonder if it's Yasutoma, and I was right on. And then the day they found me, I got a photo that was my hand with one of these brushes, something like this. And I get this note and it said, is this your hand? Because that's one of our brushes. Could we call you? Someone in their marketing department had taken a picture of it, and it was. And so that started my relationship with them. And then, of course, I gave away a bunch of brushes this year that they actually fulfilled. So it's really been fun. All right, so there's a little example of this dragonfly. What could we do to make him just pop a little bit more? Maybe roll some of this in here. Just grab a pencil or a pen. Where's the pencil? Here we go. Just as a hammer. And then just splatter a little yellow on there like that. Maybe a little blue in and around. Sometimes I'll even take my spray bottle and just dust it and spray it a little bit more like that. And just get it to loosen up and get a little fuzzy and run a little bit. And so it winds up just bleeding off into the paper. And I like that look. And I might come back with my pen in a little while and dress up some of this and put some detail in. I don't know. And I might not. I might just leave it like it is. It'll be fine, in the words of David Wilcox. Leave it like it is. Never mind the turpentine. Leave it like it is. It's fine. All right. So there's the body of that dragonfly. And looks like he's way off in the distance. He probably could have a brother over there somewhere. Maybe with a little bit more green yellow wings. Let's go right in here and just get another one and just bring it in. Let's see. He's coming the other way, so he's going to go here. This is an awkward paint stripe for me, so in that case I'll turn it here and I'll drag it out this way. And I'll round that wing up a little bit, and there's a wing. And then maybe we put his body in like that. Come back in. He's got a brown body. He looks more like a butterfly, but there his body's coming in like this, and his tail comes up there, and his head's going to go here with the green wing, and he's going to have feet coming down this way. And so there's another little one that I just did. Just drop some green in those wings right here. Just let some spots run. hit the paper, turn it a little bit. All right, so there's a random little study on dragonflies. Is it great? Heck no, it's not great. Is it decent? Is it story worthy? You bet it is. And the story might be how I got there without this long labor of trying to draw a butterfly and sketch a butterfly. Look, this is my background paper right here. So what we do there is we just come in with a little bit of this same process, a little yellow on the end, and we can do the same thing. Let's do those downward wings again with just a small brush. And a small brush, you're going to have to wiggle a little bit to get some wings coming down. Just started with the wrong brush in the beginning because I had it in my hand. So I'll just turn this and make it go the other way. So in that case, I'll just probably come in. So if I wanted to, I could start with my pen here. There's the eyes, there's the back. Here's my dragonfly. So we'll add the two different kinds of drawings in there so you can see what I'm doing with that. And then come in and do a little bit of, got some orange in here anywhere? I will have. Get a little of this red and up here. And then get a little bit of this yellow and put them together. Need some orange. Too orange. How about a little more yellow right in there? I'm liking that. Okay, we'll come in here with a little bit of orange in the body. There's some orange right there. Something that I don't have in this pan is Terry Tardy turquoise. Let me go get some of that right here. Oh, look at that. I love that. That's a pretty cool look right there. And then I always like, dragonflies to me always have these green yellow eyes, and so I always will jump some of that in there. So there's a wrinkly little dragonfly that's coming down. He could have another little wing coming out here. A perfect time for me to drop in some different, and then spray that and watch what happens. Okay, and then let it fuzz out a little bit. If I want to come back and splatter a little bit, I can do that. Okay, I'll give you an idea of what I like to do with, and that's a different piece of paper. Where's this one going to go? Nowhere. But it's dragonfly. You know, right now they've already started. If you're here in Charlotte, you got 73 yesterday, so insects are moving and things are flying around, and so that'll give you just a little bit of an idea of what I'm doing there. I was going to go with a bright spot today, so it's Saturdays. Sometimes Saturdays I just really like to splash paint, so I was going to grab a big piece of Kilimanjaro and grab some music. Kapunk. This is Kilimanjaro paper. Let me widen my camera out just a little bit for you here. Boom, there it is right there. Let me focus 1 second for you. I'm not running automatic focus because I changed so many things. It makes it blurry going in and out, so I'll get up and just hand focus it. So that's why I stand up sometimes to do that. Camera across the way is set. Usually it's pretty close. This is Kilimanjaro paper. It's 140 pound. It is 100% pure cotton rag. So it's going to grab those colors extremely fast. I don't waste anything. I'll rip the cover off this. I'm not going to use it for art, but man, you want some slick paper. There it is right there. Just grab some of that someday and do a wing on it. Look at that. And then come in. And so you start very thin with this brush, and then as you go down, you let it just come out and then lift up, and that gives you that wing. Did you see it happen one more time? Watch. Start very slowly. Like here, a little bit of pressure, a little more pressure, a little more. And right here, you just come down slowly. And then before you're done, just go boop, pop up. And that'll give you that little leaf. It's a great way to make leaves if you're doing leaves on branches in one stroke. For you to go in and paint your little leaf like this, why not just go in and do it like this? I'm done. Finished. Then you could come back and add a little extra color on the side of that leaf if you wanted to. All right. Don't waste any paper. I'm going to waste it now. I'm going to throw it away. But while you're learning, use it to learn on. Okay? All right. Same with this cardboard. All right, here we go. Now that I have, should never put the clean piece of paper down that you're getting ready to paint on. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. All right, here we go. Let's just start with a little bit of an 07 pen. This is a Pentel Energel needle tip. All right, here we go. Let's see. Which way is this rooster going? He's going to go this way today, just because it's harder for me to paint to the right than it is to the left. So here's his comb. There's his eye right there. There's his wattle. There's his back coming down. We'll get in here in a second. I'll see where his legs are going to go, and we'll just let it wind down. I'll just do it right now. I'll just bring it right up in here. I'll bring his leg down this way, right here. He's reaching out. He's got a big old, his middle toe is always a little longer than the others. Did you know that? Look at chicken's feet if you're painting chicken's feet. Look at bee wings if you're painting bee wings. Look at all that stuff. Okay, I'm going to come down here with another one. There's that toe. That toe's a little longer than the third toe. And then I always put the heel in last. And then the earth goes up here. All right, so there's my rooster. And so let's make him a bright spot rooster. And let's do it with a, let's do it with this, what is it? Is this the JV100? Yeah, that's the brush. Let's do it with this brush. No, let's do a brush that you could have your hands on someday. Let's do it with a, what's this? That's a 4. Do I have a 3 up here on the desk? No, I don't. Shucks. Okay, that's all right. This will do it. This is a 1, I think, or a 2. This will be good enough to push paint around with. Okay, here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop, I'm going to do this 2 ways. I'm going to do it 2 different styles. One, I'm just going to drop some blue in the tail, if I've got some here. Here we go. We'll just drop a little bit of blue in the tail. Just right there. There's a little bit. There's a little bit there. That's way too much, but I did it anyway. Okay, and then we're going to paint 2 different styles. So the first style is I'm going to grab this straw right here and just blow this a little bit. Well, that's not too much. Thought it was going to be, but it's not. All right, so let's grab this number 8 brush and just throw some water in there. Just throw a little water on like so. And then for this part up here, I'm going to go ahead and take my brush and just paint in. I'm using a watercolor brush. It's a number 8. American Journey interlock nylon. I'm just going to paint some water in here. And by the way, I'm not trying to roll it like I'm painting a house. I'm just splattering the water in, and I'm just rolling it in different places, okay? I'm not, if you want to know how to be loose, just do it this way, and then watch what happens. I'm going to grab a little bit of gamboge. Grab it right here. Just drop a little spot right there and let it just dance. Let's put a little bit on his beak right there. That's going to be good. Maybe a little spot. That's way too much, but I did it. Let's grab a little bit of red and let's put it on his wattle. Okay, brain is working. I remember this is the comb and that's the wattle's working a little bit. Couldn't remember thistle. How weird is that? Okay, so then I'm going to grab a little bit of this yellow and drop it right here. And I'll tell you why. It's because I want some of that blue to mix with it here in a minute and give us a little bit of green. And then I want some, let's see, do I have another spot of red in here to get just a touch of purple in there? Just red's so overpowering too. It'll take off and kind of kill everything. So I'm going to try to create... The music just didn't fit my painting. All right, so here we go. Let's grab that number 8 brush and just put this together. This is a Bright Spot Roo. It's liquid watercolor, P.H. Martin's. It's 100% paper, rice, cotton paper, and so then I'm just going to start mixing this together by letting the blue and the yellow and the green all start to come together. Just letting it bridge. Jason, this is the kind of bridges that I like to paint right here, where it just starts to bridge itself. I don't have a whole lot to do about it or say about it. I am brushing in the directions that I think feathers would look good. But you see what's happening. I'm just letting it sort of join, and I'm leaving a lot of little holidays in here. And are they planned? Yes, they're unplanned originally, but I know they're coming because I didn't try to push all the water together. This would have been a good roof for St. Patty's Day, I think. I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to just go up in here. I cleaned it out. I always clean out my brush between colors if I want to stay true to something. I couldn't have brought the brush over there, but I'm going to grab this red and box it in right here. Look, I even left some holidays in there, and I'm going to leave that. Hear that? Brushed it out again. I'm going to go grab a little bit of this yellow here and just clean into his bill a little bit. Just a touch of yellow above the eye. If it's too much, I can take it out with a little paper towel. Oh, that's perfect. Worked it great right there. Just did a spot right there because I wanted it to. I'm going to grab some of this orange right here. You see that orange right there? I'm going to grab some of that orange and just lay my brush in it and soak it up like a sponge. Then I'm going to take it down here and I'm going to use it to go in on the legs and the feet. I'm going to go grab a little more of that, maybe just a spot of red. Grab that orange right there. This leg's going to be a little darker over here. Why? Well, it's the one on the inside for me. It's under the shadow just a tad more. It has been shadowed. Me and my shadow. It was me and my arrow, wasn't it? I'd almost, that'd be a great trivia question. Who wrote that song? Oh, he wrote the song also called I Can't Live If Living Is Without You. Harry Nilsson. Yeah. You want to listen to some of Harry's songs. Some of Harry's songs you don't want to listen to with your grandkids. They get a little rough. But he was in the 70s, one of my favorites. I just painted out that little holiday right there, and I'm so sorry that I did. My brush just touched it by mistake, and now it's too late. I'll have to live with it. This is kind of a bright spot, Roo, but I'm going to box some of this in right here. I feel like it's just too... it's too obvious, too something, too much Velveeta. Yeah, that's it. Too cheesy. So I'm going to go in here a little dark on this leg, and then here, and then I'm just going to use some of that green that I had on my brush to come in here and just sort of bolster up the background. Here it is right here. Look at that. I'll go in and grab a little more yellow out of here. Just bring it in. I got some great green working for me. See, I love the fact that I never have to go back to the palette, that you got everything you need right there in the bird to make this painting work, including the shadows. Look at that. And even this shadow right here of his tail feathers down here, the blue. It works really well. Yeah, you can paint a bright spot or you can be a bright spot. What if you were both? That'd be a good title for this this thing. Look, I'm going to grab my brush here, roll it in the tail feathers just a little bit, and then just splatter it just like this up in here to create a little bit of sky action. Loving that. That's kind of fun. Hey, it's Saturday morning, and hope you guys are doing well. It's going to be a little rainy today, I heard. I'll take it. Dan, by the way, my neighbor next door, we had a little celebration for Dan last night across the street. The neighbors came. The parking lot was, the neighbor's driveway was decorated for Dan and his new fiance. Yeah. Dan is, gosh, I need to find out how old Dan is. He may be 78, 79, but he's getting married this in May. The neighborhood threw a party for Dan. We're always taking him soup, checking on him. He's doing great. So it's kind of fun to show up for that party just for a few minutes before we went and celebrated a grandson who turned 3. He's the new adopted grandson in the family. Man, is he cool. So that was kind of fun. So we had a heck of an evening and got back late, sat in the driveway of another driveway. We went from one driveway party to another driveway party. All right, so there's my Roo. That's him. I'm sticking to him. I'm just going to let that green just fade off like it is. I love it. I like it. I'm not going to mess with it. I am going to take this pen and come back in right here, and I'll show you what I'm going to do right here. Yeah, congratulations. Isn't that great for Dan? True love has no age, Jason says. Jason, that'll play well in your high school class, my friend, okay? So you people quit messing around and don't worry about love. It'll find you when it needs to. And, you know, I read man, I love Will Rogers, and I got to share with you. I have an old book. It's an antique. You can't even find it in bookstores anymore. I don't know when it was painted or when it was written. Let's see. I was laying on my desk this morning because, 1969 is when this was copywritten, and its own civilization. He said, there ain't no civilization where there ain't been no satisfaction. And that's what the trouble. Nobody is satisfied. Man, I talked to 4 people yesterday who were dissatisfied with something. Well, I don't like this. I don't like this. And I don't like this. And this one didn't like that. And someone didn't like something else. And I finally just said, do you like anything? I mean, anything? Do you like anything? I'm about to offend you. Talk about that thing that you like for a few days and let those other things just go. Because we live in a world that just isn't satisfied. Some days a good watercolor painting satisfies me. And I'm not talking, it's not everything in the world. I still have bills. I owe more money than Caesar's wife. So what? The point is, a good painting and creativity satisfies my soul sometimes. I just love it. I just go, that's where I want to be. That's why I got into this crazy thing, because I felt like I could create. I had no idea there'd be a community. I had no idea people would show up. I had no idea I'd be teaching classes. All that just came. I'm going to take this clean paper towel and I'm going to touch that blue right there and just pull some of it out. And that's going to leave that bright spot right there. I'm kind of liking this painting. It's going to be called the bright spot, and there it is. I think I'm done. I'm going to sign it right here. And it's going to be called, sometimes you paint a bright spot, sometimes you are a bright spot. I guess that's my call today. We worry about so many things that are first world problems. Man, it's a great country. We got knuckleheads running it, but we're still in a great country. So thank you for all of you who serve and help keep those freedoms to us. I love it. All right, are we out of the woods yet? Heck no, but you can only go so far into the woods, because after you get past halfway, then you're coming out. All right. Lisa says it's a matter of how we frame things. And you know what? What a great art segue that is. Some people will put this into a mat, and some people will put it in an old barn wood. Some people will put it in a gilded frame, which is probably more than it requires. But it is how we frame things, how we look at it. Will Rogers was a genius. It was a sad day when he and Wiley Post crashed that airplane up in Alaska, and he died. I loved Will Rogers. I didn't know him, but I've been to the Will Rogers Shrine in Colorado Springs and up on the Cheyenne Mountain. There's a great zoo up there. And all right, there we go. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I got a couple other things to paint this morning, just real quickly, just for fun. And so I'm going to let that alone. That's good, Rooster. He's going to go into the auction, and I'm going to make myself a little note. Now I won't forget. I'm not going to write on it right now, because I'm going to do a little cool I think I'm going to do the little caption in a curve here that says, paint a bright spot or be one. Your call, something like that. I'm going to do something that just talks about, because I'm on my soapbox today. I appreciate you guys letting the old man ramble, and complain. But I'm not dissatisfied. I'm asking you to be satisfied. Look at this. I'm just going to go in here. What are you doing now? All right. We need to make friends with ourselves, love kindness, and spread it out there like ripples in a pond. Boom. Stay on the sunny side. There's another egg chicken joke. Man, where would we be if chickens hadn't flavored our language? It's an egg cooking, chicken laying, feather plucking, incubating, capping, finger licking song. All right, there we go. My brain cannot be trusted. I like this rooster. I'll pick him up again right as we go after he's dried a little bit. Hey, it's 9:43. Let me paint something else for you here. Will Rogers was a classic American, man. He was a brilliant dude. He had humorous things. He was the Mark Twain of our time, okay? Mark Twain was brilliant. Will Rogers came across like he didn't know nothing. That's double negatives, right? I wanted to say it that way. He didn't know nothing. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just spill paint, and that's what that rooster was about right there. One of the things that I love to do, and I'll do this at the show for Yasatoma in Florida coming up in April. One of the things I'll do at their art show, the big art marketing venture I'm going to, I'll be in their booth for 2.5 days over in Art Demo Land. And this is where people, retailing art companies come in from all over the place. I've been invited to paint there. So I'll be doing some shows. And one of the things I'll be doing is some small paintings with Yasatoma products. And Yasatoma, they're coming out with a new line of paint. They've asked me to try that, and they're setting me up with some products to do. Anyway, it'll be kind of fun. I think it's going to be very fun. But one of the things I'll do is I'll just get people to spill paint. And I'll just say, spill me some here and here and here, and we'll do it like I do on the show sometimes. We'll turn it around, and I'll turn it into a rooster or a shrimp or some of the crazy things that I paint. And what does that remind me of? Noodle, doodle, fiddle, piddle, okay? When I did my first 100 shows with Roodoodles, just learning how to live stream and was consulting with someone who needed to learn how to live stream, I thought I'll just do it. And so I turned on that camera. I turned on the camera up here. I started making some videos, and boom, it all popped up. And here's what happened. I said a bunch of things, which I'm always saying things. And Pat, who in her former art life was a project manager, you can tell, got some really loose painting styles, but also some really type A, this is not a slam. This is a blessing style to write things and get them right and write them down and note them and take notes. And she sent me these things one time and said, you said about 150 things. And I go, well, that's way too many for anybody, but let's pick 30 of them. And so I picked 30 of them and then sent them back to her and said, this is the saying that you said I said, which I went back to the shows and looked, and I did. And I know where those came from in my life. So let's put those in a book. You illustrate them any way you want. And here's the thing that I said. Sometimes the best thing you can do is spill paint. And when you just spill it, then you're loose. You go, oh no. It's like when you have a new guitar. I bought a new guitar. One of the first guitars I ever purchased with my own money. I've been given several wonderful guitars in my life. I mean, beautiful instruments. But I bought a guitar, and it was brand new out of the case. And I hadn't owned that guitar more than 2 weeks. And I'm sitting with some guys just sort of jamming, as they say. And there was a guy with another guitar, and there was a guy that was playing a box. There's a guy with a harmonica. And anyway, the guy said, hey, let me show you something on that harmonica. And as he threw the harmonica over, it hit my guitar, and the corner of it goes boom, and it knocked a little dent in there. And everybody in the room went, oh, no. And I looked at it, and I looked at him, and he didn't know if I was going to, do the old quick draw, madraw, el kabong, where you take the guitar. And I said, thank you. And he said, what? And I said, Tommy, thank you, because now it's done. That's my first ding. It's like that's the first scratch. And there'll be plenty more to come. It doesn't affect the sound of the guitar. It now has a battle scar. Good job. And so he went, but I didn't want to be too late. You're the guy that I'll always remember as putting the first ding in my new guitar. And I love it. And so we played better after that, and we became dear, dear, dear friends through life. And he played on my first album, the harmonica. When I got older and did a song, I'd written a bunch of songs, and we went in the studio. He was my harmonica player. And so we'd always laugh about that. And I said, but don't throw your harmonicas, man. So sometimes it's best if you just spill paint. And when you spill paint, when it just gets knocked over, you don't go, oh no, you knocked over my paint. You go, hey, I bet we could turn that into the Brooklyn Bridge if you're Jason, or a castle somewhere, or a river and a scene. Or I bet if it's green paint, Chris Whitaker could turn it into a gnome. Or he turned it into an owl. Some of you saw the owl that I painted. I painted that last year. But my point is, you just let it splatter. So Bob Ross called those little slips and fumbles and tips and wayward splatters happy little accidents. Be welcome to have those. I keep my desk covered up because it's a 200-year-old barley twist pub table from Ireland. And I want to keep it a little pristine. I don't know why, because it'll be passed on to my kids someday and then they'll burn it in the fire. It doesn't matter. The point is, I just don't want to get paint all over it. My thing is that when I'm working, I think I told you the story. The story in here is about a theater that we built, and it was all pristine, and I'd met with the building committee and the architects and all the people, and I said, there's one more thing we want to do. Bring in your old clothes. I've got some paint, and we're going to splatter paint all over this place. And the guy just had a meltdown. You can't do that. This building is brand new. Don't you understand? And I said, don't you understand that it looks like a hospital wing? We're going to turn it into an art studio. I want it to look like it's been painted in and lived in for 2 years. When kids walk in, they're going to be free to create. And so we did that. And he couldn't stay in the room. But it was later when he came back in that morning that we opened this children's studio. We called it the art-tudio because kids couldn't say studio. And so when they came in that morning and he was behind the scenes, he saw that and he melted. He went, oh, I get it. I'm sorry. And I said, no, you don't have to be sorry. You just didn't have a vision for it. And so what we did that morning, and I've told this story before, but it's part of that bright spot, is that we turned off all the lights. And we got a little boy out of the audience who was probably 6.5 years old, maybe. And we gave him a cup with white paint. And we said, take this cup of white paint. And we had a black canvas that was already stretched. And it was about 3 by 5 feet. And we set it down. We had a spotlight coming down on it. And then we put a little light on the top of a ladder. And I grabbed his belt and I said, climb up this ladder. And he climbed up to the top of this 8-foot ladder. And I was right behind him and I said, I got you, man. You're not going to fall. You get right there. And that's high enough. Stand on that step. So then we handed him the cup. It was sitting on the little shelf there. And I said, we're going to put on some nice music, some great music. And then what's going to happen is, in just a minute, they're going to count down from 10. The audience is. They're all watching you because you're going to make a splash. And you're going to take that cup, and in one movement, you're going to go, boom, and you're going to let all that paint fall this 8 or 10 feet down. You reach it up, and it's going to splatter out. And I'm telling you, when that happened, 4, 3, 2, 1, that white hit the canvas and just goes blowing out across the canvas and across the floor. It was like amazing. And the other little kids, in the brightness of the other light shining around, they're all on their feet going, yes! It was just one of those moments, and my heart is going like, I had no idea it would be this grand. I mean, it's just a 6-year-old dropping paint from 10 feet onto a black canvas. This white paint splatters and blows out. And everybody was applauding, and the music is crescendoing, and I calmed the music down, and I brought him down the ladder, and I handed him a small little brush. And I said, dip the brush in the edge right here and sign your name. And he did. And the music quieted as he signed his name, just the way a 6-year-old writes his name. I think some of the letters were backwards. I can still find it today. You know what we did with that painting? We let it dry there for 2 days. Then we took it out and we hung it in the art gallery. And it stayed there for about the next 3 years. And people would walk by and they'd go, oh, what's this? We call that light. It's a splash. And so, hey, that's the kind of stories that go into making a bright spot. And that's went through my heart today. Noodle Fiddle Piddle, you can find it on Amazon.com. Pat did a great job. And so sometimes the best thing you can do is spill and then you're loose, because people say, I just don't know how to loosen up my heart. And I go, just pour out a bucket of paint and make something out of it. So that's kind of how we got there, okay? Okay. Hey, I got one more painting to do here for you just real quickly, and it's about time for me to go anyway. But that's one book that's on Amazon.com. The other book is Hey Roo, What's a Wheelbarrow? I'm still writing another book. It's taken me 4 years to get poems from the ponds, rhymes from the rivers, odes from the oceans, but I'm going to get it one of these days, and I'm going to finish that book. This is Hey Roo, What's a Wheelbarrow? It's about a field trip of where he takes the little peeps out on a field trip. So read this to you. If you got small kids, grandkids, read this to them. And then the coloring book is out, and it's called Roobots. It's a cross between roosters and small farm equipment. You can find all that at Roodoodles.com, as well as the bug out bags and the mugs. There's still a few of those left. I have a box that has, I think it's got several dozen cups still left in it. This was last year's cup. This one, it's got some of these in it that have the rooster head on both sides. So I call this the reversible, if you're right or left-handed. A good diner mug takes both hands to hold it. It keeps the drink warm. You can milk one goat in it. And if somebody takes your purse 25 feet, you got a shot to bring it back. I'm telling you that. This will take you down. I'm not that violent, but sometimes, well, I sound like it sometimes anyway, don't I? Hey, I've been painting crows. I've been painting owls. My friend Al. and so I don't know if you just sit and sketch sometimes, but I want to encourage you to do that. Maybe with a pen, a pencil, maybe with a fountain pen. This is a number 2 preppy fountain pen. Let's see if it's writing. Heck, it is. So what I try to do sometimes is I just tend to grab a pen, and we have an owl, not owl, A-L, or not owl, like I mashed my finger, and that's what was on the little painting, but owl. We have barred owls here, not barn owls, bar owls, and they sound like primates. They sound like monkeys yelling back and forth through the trees. Pretty fascinating, and so they come around usually on Wednesdays. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's their prayer meeting night or something. I don't get it, but if we hear one, and Carol and I can even be watching TV, and her super sensitive hearing, she'll go, hold it, whoop, mute it. She'll open the door and go, there's an owl. And we'll just stop and listen to them sometimes. So so I drew that little owl, or a piece of one anyway, with just that little hook bill. And then I drew those little feathery wings on the top of his head, kind of comes out like that. And then there's I think he's got a round circle around his eye like so, and this one, and then there's cheeks. And so I just did that. And so you just have to set, and you constantly have to just have to start to put pieces together that work together, and you just sketch. And so that's the way I start learning to draw something. Everyone thinks that the way you learn to draw something is look right at it and go, I'm going to make this straight line here, and then I have to go down here, and I have to go here. No, you don't. Just take a pencil or a pen and start doing little sketch pieces that you get a feel for it. And that's how the day that I discovered that my honeybees look like Christmas light bulbs. I was drawing this little shape like the honeybee's bottom, and I go, oh, look at that. Look at that right there. If I put a cord on that, it'd be a Christmas tree light bulb. In fact, I think this is a Christmas tree light. Now I just got the cord tangled up. And look what I did. And so I just went, oh, there's where it fits on the tree. And I suddenly just drew a bee. And you're going, come on, you didn't just do that. And so you discover that by play. And so I'm asking you guys if you want to be a part of my classes this year. The first one is on March 29th, and you have to sign up at Patreon, and there's a link to it on my Facebook page. I'll post a link out today. You have to sign up on Patreon, and here's the thing. It's not $9.95. It's not $39.95. It's $11.57 per month. And you can sign in. Could you end that contract? Yes, you can. You can drop out. My point is, I'm going to do a 90-minute class once a month, and I'm going to do a tools, concepts, ideas, you name it. It's going to happen. And so I'm going to do it in that 90 minutes once a month, and then we're going to have things to work on. I'm still going to do a live show probably Monday or Saturday. I may switch it around. I may do my classes on Monday. Not sure. And I'm still working on that detail, and that's why I sent out a note this week. I think I sent it to everybody. Pat, you'll get one because I want you to take a look at this date. Anyway, my point is that I'm still going to do the shows like I'm doing today. Love this community. Love what you're doing on Roost Crew. Love that you're bringing flowers to people, painting things for people. Just absolutely love it. And so I want to keep doing that. Just use this brush today to just put this ink in there like so. That's going to work really well. And then let me just grab another little brush here. And where's my paint tray? Just go get this tray right here. You see that Christmas light bulb that had the cord tangled up around it and the little end? Yeah. How in the world did that happen? And just grab a little bit of this ugly brown color right here and put it in, because bees are not all bright yellow. They got a little bit of brown in them, and they got a little bit of brown going out on their wings like that. And then they got a little bit of black. I don't have any black in here. I usually make it, but I'll just take something like this and bring it in. There it is right there, like so. Here's a little bit going out, and then there's a little. Come in here with these stripes. I'm going to show you something in my last 2 minutes here. If I got 1 minute left to go on this show. So we'll just do some little wiggles here with the brush and just let this pen go into the yellow. Don't make it like you've taped it off with masking tape. Okay, you know, things in nature is his bee is not like this. It's not like let's tape that off and let's make this just perfectly black. No, let it break into this other little piece. In fact, get some of it in there and just let it go into that a little bit. The bees are furry. They're like little furry animals. And all right. All right, so that'll give you a little idea of a little honeybee. His wings look like they're going backwards. It looks like he'll be flying the other way, but maybe he's going against the wind. Against the wind. All right. So what I was going to do is I was going to show you how I was going to draw this owl, but I'm not because I ran out of time. But I just start playing around like this with the colors. And I throw some brown in there. Wow. And I throw a little bit of yellow down here on his chest and a little bit of orange up in here. A little bit of black on his beak right here. And so I suddenly keep playing around until I have this, I have these little things. And I may do these studies that we're going to do in the class. I may do, who knows how many of those studies I might do. I might do 50 of these. I might do more. Will I get better at it? Dang straight I will. Okay. All right. So that's the whole plan. The books, the website, Patreon starts in the next couple weeks, and you can sign up anytime. You can sign up even after the first class if you want to. You just get into the grind and go, it's 11:57, or those of you who want to support me. So why did I do it this way this year? Well, it helps me have a little monthly stipend coming in that I know I can take a day or two and sit down and make the plans that I need to. And so that's the purpose of doing it. And then it's consistent in that you go, ooh, I'm taking this class once a month, and you're busy and you're traveling and you got summer. You got garden to plant, you got beans to can, you got everything to do, but then that gives you at least the next 3 weeks to plug in and really build up where we're going instead of every week, oh, I didn't get that done. So that's why I put it once a month. I'm going to do the Good News Roo, and that's going to be rocking through the Gospel of Matthew, and I'll send out a link for that. Those of you who want to be a part of that, grab that Crossway Bible. It's a journal scripture. We're going to read a story, then we're going to talk about what's one picture you could draw on the page, and then once a quarter I'll do those other things. So that's once again my last little pitch for Patreon. You can sign up. I'll put a link out, post a link today. You can click that and go for that. $11.57 a month. That's cheaper than a Five Guys hamburger once a month. Well, here it is because it cost me $12 last week when I went to have a Five Guys. So there we go. Last sip of tea for me, and then I'm out of here. Here it is. Ready? Oh, Jason, I don't know, man. All right, here we go. Hey, I'll respond to some of these stories a little bit later this morning with a cup of tea here. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for paying attention to what we need to do. Pat, Light Body Psalms will be a good one to do. I'm going to do the New Testament first, but I will be doing Psalms later. My goal was to sketch through the New Testament first, and so right now I'm in the Thessalonians, but I'm jumping back to Matthew for this class because I think it's a great way to start and get a handle, and there's good story topics there. Remember, everything is fodder for a story. Yeah. That's right here in this book, too. Everything is fodder for a story. And it should be a story. Stories are so important to our life. You're building a story. You're making a story. Do you celebrate it? See, that's where I want you to find the satisfaction. I want you to find the satisfaction in your story. Take a sip. Think about who you're going to contact on this Saturday morning and say, hey, thought about you this morning. Be a bright spot today for someone. I got it. I know who I'm sending a note to right now. All right. Blessings to you. And thank you. This has been a bright spot for me. Anyway, glad y'all are here. Over here on my little picture, hanging on the wall, is a harmonica. Don't throw this at a friend. You might hit his guitar. See you Monday, Lord willing. I'll post Patreon link